We are back to finish more of the interesting thing that happened at Perfect Acres Inc. by Barbara Brooks Wallace. We're going to put Oreo Jr. under his covers of the night, our rendition of it on the bed back there. And we're going to continue on our journey. Are you guys ready? You ready, Scott?
I'm ready.
Mm-hmm. Well, that's that. I guess we don't have to worry about staying invisible anymore. Puck reappeared, pocketing his covers. After having spent the whole 10 years of her life growing up in the shadow of the rule that anything having to do with Mr. Snoot was not to be trifled with, it took Perfecta a moment longer to decide to pull off her covers. Oh, I forgot to start this off right. Sorry, y'all.
Mm-hmm.
Have you ever looked at people and thought, we crazy as hell? You know, just looked at like 90 Day Fiance, go to Walmart and look at that, see all them crazy people. And then have you ever wondered to yourself, what would a monkey think about our behavior? Like if they could talk, what would they say? Have you ever thought that, Scott? You know what the dolphins think from the Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy. So long and thanks for the fish. But what do the monkeys think about our behavior?
I don't know.
Okay. Well, we got it backwards. So that was the intro. We already talked about them taking off the covers of the night and Perfecta having PTSD from Mr. Snoot. Let's keep going. But she did it last, and they started off again for the monkey cage. Once there, they settled their arms on the railings and were soon deeply absorbed in the antics of the young monkeys swinging around the cage, their tails looped cleverly over bars, trapeze, and each other. Their whole attention on the young monkeys, they hardly noticed a old grizzly monkey who sat off at one corner, munching thoughtfully on a celery stalk. Okay, you better eat up. Bon appetit. His black eyes, like two shining beads set deep in his head, seemed to be gazing out beyond the cage, perhaps even beyond the zoo. He probably wants to go back home and get out that cage, honey. He probably wants to go back to the jungle where he's from.
Yeah.
But except for the movement of his jaw and an occasional blinking of his eyes, he was quite motionless. All at once, Perfecta heard Puck say, "Come on, what are you waiting for?" "I don't want to go yet," Perfecta complained. "We've just only come, and we haven't looked at the monkeys for nearly long enough." Puck looked at her strangely, like, "Girl, what? What are you talking about? What are you talking about?" "I didn't say anything about going. I thought you did. You very clearly said, 'Come on, what are you waiting for?'" "I never said it. You did," Perfecta hurled back. Come now. Neither one of you said it. If you paid closer attention, you might have known that. But you're not going to discover anything by staring at each other with blank looks on your face. Please direct your attention to me in the cage, the Bucky's cage. The old monkey lumbered up to the bars and stood there with his sharp little eyes fastened on Puck and Perfecta. Then, though his lips never moved so much as a whisker, they heard his voice speaking to them quite clearly. This got to be a dream, because if this was reality, baby, you got you doing some Son of Sam, honey. The Son of Sam had this problem. Anyway, back to this. If you really wish to see the monkeys, you will take the path to your left and follow the green arrows. With that, the old monkey simply turned away and lumbered back to his old corner. Then he picked up a banana, carefully peeled it, then sat munching on it as if nothing out of the ordinary had happened at all. After glancing at each other with raised eyebrows and a shrug, showing that neither one knew what this was all about, Puck and Perfecta sidled away from the railing, easily finding the first green arrow beside the cage. Under it was a small sign that said, Monkey See. That certainly agreed with what the old monkey had told them. One arrow closely followed another, leading to the back of the cage and around the corner. Then the arrows stopped. It seemed that all they had done was come to a stern brick wall with a forbidding iron door in the center. And there wasn't a monkey in sight. But there was another small sign hanging beside the door. Monkey do, Perfecta read it aloud. Monkey see, monkey do, Puck said. Well, Puck and Purr see, Puck and Purr do, I guess. He rapped on the iron door. It swung open to reveal the very same monkey cage they had just left. The only difference was that they were now looking through the opposite side of the bars. Okay, y'all in the cage, baby. Get in that cage. It was the old monkey who had opened the door. After tossing the banana peel over his shoulder, he bowed gravely to the new arrivals. Welcome, children. Won't you please enter? They stepped through the doorway into the cage, but as the old monkey closed the door behind him, he added, and do be careful of your tails. Puck and Perfecta exchanged startled glances. What tails? Perfecta asked. You must be mistaken, Mr. Monkey, sir, said Puck. We don't have any tails. Are you quite certain? The old monkey smiled. Then when did you last look? Scotty, you got a tail?
I don't think so, but maybe I should check.
Oh. Puck looked again at Perfecta. Perfecta looked again at Puck. Then they each looked down behind their shoulders. Oh.
Oh, wow. Look at that.
What a coinky dink. I have a tail too. I must have walked through that out. Oh, cried Perfecta. Great whiskers, exclaimed Puck. For tails they certainly did have. Perfecta clasped her hands in delight. I've always wondered what it would be like to have a tail. Girl, you better get you a Buc-ee's onesie. But now that I have one, what will I do with it? Why, anything and everything, of course, replied the old monkey. Then he shook his head. Goodness gracious. It really is amazing to me that you human children get along as well as you do without the use of a tail. What if you got a beaver's tail? Because that's what I got around here. Because I don't have no monkey tail around here. I got a beaver's tail.
Pack mud.
Period. We making houses and bricks around here. Period. Okay, let's get back to the story. Sorry, I took y'all out of the fantasy. Tails are so sensible. I've always thought so, sir, said Puck. And so have I, Perfecta said. But Mr. Snoot never has. He thinks everything about animals is nonsensical. Oh, he does he? The old monkey's eyes narrowed. Well, we shall see about that. In the meantime, back to your question about the use of tails. Just as I would have to be taught to use a giraffe's splendid neck. We don't know how to use a neck. Okay. If I was so fortunate as to suddenly have one, or an elephant's magnificent trunk, so shall you have to be taught the use of tails. Okay. What you gonna teach these people? Now, first of all, we'll start with the classic curl. That sounded simple enough. But Puck and Perfecta soon learned that managing a tail, like first learning to write, took a great deal of concentration. Is it like riding a bike?
Might be.
Does that take a lot? It didn't take long to discover, after they had fallen off the bars time and time again, how easily the basic curl could become the basic uncurl. With the patient help of the old monkey, however, they finally mastered their first and most important lesson. Take this out. Sorry, y'all. Soon they were swinging back and forth across the cage, right along with the young monkeys who had had their tails all their lives. Here. Perfecta concluded that owning a tail was every bit as wonderful as she had ever thought it would be. It wasn't long before she and Puck were trying out new adventuresome new stunts. But just as they were beginning an exciting one in which they hooked their tails and swung each other from the bars, she suddenly froze, leaving Puck dangling below her in the air. Ma'am, you can't just be doing death-defying stunts and then, not telling your partner that you ain't gonna catch him. That's dangerous. Sorry, y'all. He barely managed to swing back up beside her. What on earth's wrong, Purr? You nearly dropped me on my back. It's them again, Perfecta cried. We have to vanish again. Quick, put on our covers. Vanish? Covers? The old monkey swung nimbly up the bar beside them. What's all this about? We might be in danger, Mr. Monkey, sir, explained Puck. And we have to put on our covers of the night, said Perfecta. Covers of the night? The old monkey looked puzzled. They'll make us disappear, said Puck. What I mean is, I know exactly what you mean, said the old monkey. No need to explain. Covers of the night, eh? Well, well, well. But what's this about danger? With a nervous finger, her finger was probably like, oh my God. Oh. Perfecta pointed outside the cage where measures, I guess that's Mr. Plural, measures, Puddle, Peebles, Piffle, Feasels, and Pottle had just arrived. Child. One more again about them names. Just, be leery of bad names. At that moment, the full attention of all five were directed at polishing their spectacles with their large, colorful handkerchiefs, as if the fate of the world hung on their efforts. Them? The monkey's eyes widened in disbelief. Them? He gave a deep-throated chuckle. A moment later, he had dropped off the bars and was flat on his back, rolling from side to side and laughing uncontrollably. It seemed some time for him to collect himself and leap nimbly back up on the bars. Oh dear, them? He gasped, wiping his eyes with the tip of his tail. That's one of the richest things I have heard in all my life. While that group can't see beyond the tips of their noses, and their brains are not much better than their eyesight, period. Pause for the cause. How do you say somebody's stupid without saying they stupid? Okay. Here we go. How do you say somebody low IQ without saying they low IQ? Let me repeat this one more time.
Okay.
Why that group can't see beyond the tip of their nose. Okay, here go your nose, here go your eyes, here go your noses. That's not far. And their brains are not much better than their eyesight.
All right.
Go off, monkey, honey. You don't have a thing to fear from them. You'll see. Just go right along with your tail exercises. He said, girl, they are a non-factor. Okay, the monkey said they are non-factors. Period. Their worries dismissed, Puck and Perfecta lost no time in hooking tails and continued to swing each other down the bar. Okay, period. Ain't nothing to worry about, honey. They like work. Outside the monkey cage, Puddle, Peebles, Piffle, Feasel, and Poddle were trying so hard to outdo each other in peering inside that they almost tumbled over the railing. I say, Fizzle, said Puddle, my spectacles may deceive me, but I do believe I see more monkeys inside the cage than when we were here before. There do seem to be more monkeys in the cage, interrupted Poddle excitedly. Dear, dear, this is dreadful. We must call the authorities. Who you gonna call, honey? Ghostbusters? 911? Like, who are you gonna call because there's extra monkeys?
Good question.
This again, once again, getting paid to do nothing. But my good Poddle, said Peoples, we are the authorities, right? Oh, dear me, yes, replied Poddle in a choking voice. Let us examine the evidence immediately. And how do you suggest we do that? Inquired Feasel with extreme politeness. Sir, go to a beach, dig a hole, and bury yourself in it. That's how you can do that, sir. Like, sorry, that's me being mean, but these people are irritating my spirit. Let's continue with the story. By counting them, of course, said Poddle, his chest expanding with pride over having come up with this remarkable idea. Splendid, said Piffle. They all started counting at once. Neither Puck nor Perfecta nor any of the monkeys, however, had any intention of standing still to have themselves counted. Is anybody else out there thinking like, does anybody else out here have people over them that are in charge of them that are just as low IQ as these P's, the 5 P's? Honey, anybody else? Put it in the comment section. Anyway, they went right on swinging around the cage, wiping their by now perspiring brows with their large colorful handkerchiefs. The 5 gentlemen counted faster and faster, growing more and more distraught and upset. This isn't working, exploded Piffle at last. I thought you said it was a splendid idea, returned Poddle, sniffing with hurt dignity and figuring out he wasted his time. It don't say that, but it should. Well, it was, or I thought it was, but it isn't. So it probably wasn't. Said Piffle, equally hurt and dignified. Perhaps, said Fizzle, we should decide which monkeys we are going to count and each count our own. Splendid, said Piffle. Well then, I shall take the first monkey, said Feasel. Pebbles, you should take the second, and so on. But Feasel, complained Pebbles, which is the first and which is the second? This is why we can't rise as a society. This is why they can't rise over here in this book as a society. Okay. That is the first, of course, Peoples, said Piffle, pointing to a monkey, which moved to a new position at once. I mean the 5th. Dear Piffle, said Poddle, don't you mean the 3rd? It is easy to see, said Puddle. We will get nowhere until we determine which monkey is whose. May I suggest forming committees? Call on me, Scott. Or y'all call on me. Somebody call on me. Okay, me. Has anybody else ever worked in a place where they always want to call meetings about meetings? And it never goes anywhere. It's just one big old hamster wheel. Does anybody else out there have that problem where it's just meetings and nothing gets done because you're always in a meeting?
Every day.
Just putting it out there. Okay. That's why we're here, so we can detox from it. We can have these conversations. Anyway, let's get back to this. This idea was met with beams all around. It was something they all enjoyed doing, certainly far more than counting moving monkeys. Splendid, said Piffle. They broke up into groups of 2 and 3 and held whispered conferences. After a few minutes, the groups broke up and reformed into new groups of 3 and 2. They kept on doing this and seemed to have forgotten all about why they were doing it in the first place. Yes, they should wear helmets when they walk around. Since they paid no further attention to the monkeys, Puck and Perfector, or anything around them. So it was only the monkeys and Puck and Perfector who first noted the arrival of a tall, thin man and his 2 companions. Who y'all think it is? Who you think it is, Scott? Y'all put it in the comment section. Scott, who do you think the tall man is with the 2 companions?
Mr. Drooper.
Mr. Snoot.
Or Snoot. Drooper.
Droopert. Mr. Snoot and aunties Glumper and Squint. Mr. Snoot's right arm hung limply from a sling around his neck. This arm he rubbed repeatedly as if trying to loosen a very bad cramp. He appeared decidedly pale and worn and beaten down, but by no stretch of anyone's imagination could he have been described as warm and lovable. Nor, to be sure, could the aunties, who appeared to have nothing at all the matter with them, though they looked very pinch-faced and meaner than ever. I'm going to stop there. You guys know how we end these things. What stood out to you guys? Put in the comment section. Scott, what stood out to you in this chapter and a half, kind of this story?
I don't know. It's not as fun. It doesn't seem to be as fun to be a monkey as it should be.
How you know?
I don't know.
You the one sitting there without a tail.
Yeah. Well, it would be more fun if I had a tail.
Put this jumpsuit on when we get off of here, period. I just solved the problem here. Something that I noticed is this. Just because people have titles don't mean that they know nothing. Okay? Because Piffle and Puddle and whatever their names is, they got some titles. They're supposed to be the smart ones, but they just sit up there having meetings and messing up stuff. So just because people have titles don't mean they know anything. Just putting it out there for the people. Okay, period. Sometimes they're to sow chaos sometimes. I believe. That's my personal belief. So yeah, that's what I got out of it.
All right.
Did you have anything else, Scott?
Nope, I don't have anything else.
Okay, guys. Well, we're gonna let you guys go. Sorry about not coming yesterday, but this was our makeup day. So of course we'll be back Friday for our fairy tale Fridays, and Saturdays for our it's a super scary Saturday sleepover, and then Sunday for our Sunday fun day school. Yes, okay. So with that, we're going to end this live. Thank you guys for coming and stopping by. Hopefully you guys had a great time. As always, we had a great time having you. So with that, make sure you like, share, subscribe, check out some other live shorts and videos and all that fun stuff. And with that, we're going to bid you guys adieu. So from wherever we are, even if we in a monkey cage with our tails, look at our tails, yeah, swinging around and acting like the five fools ain't out there, because they really ain't. To wherever you guys are, peace, love, and happiness. And we'll see you guys later. Bye, y'all.